Appreciate the Grange doing this. Now, Gus, what's your role? That's a word I hadn't heard.
Lecturer.
Lecturer.
Basically, I'm kind of like the program coordinator.
Okay. So we appreciate Gus putting this together. How many here are members of the Grange? Okay, good. We have three. And I want to thank the others that came and bothered to come to this forum tonight, and those that may later be listening. Worked for Senator Hatfield for a few years, as did a lot of folks, when I was a very young man, a long time ago. And if Senator Hatfield, for those youngsters in the congregation or the studio audience, however you consider yourselves, was a 5-term United States Senator from Oregon, and he was a 2-term governor. And he's retired. He's not in the greatest health, but if you went to his house right now in his office, you'd find a motto that's been in his office for years and years, and the motto is this: a campaign is a war where everyone shoots from the lip. Because it's not that funny, but it used to be funny to me until I started running for office. Today in the appeal, our lecturer, Gus, warned us all to avoid and be careful of the hyperbole in the mayor's race. Pretty good admonition in this campaign lecture. But of course, Gus will probably know what I did. It made me scurry back to my files, and I found it, Gus. And I found a letter that you wrote when we were in the middle of that 66-67 debate. You remember those awful taxes?
Actually, it's on my blog.
And
my response anyway.
yeah, and that debate was full of hyperbole. And I hope there are those in the audience, I think there are certainly those in our district who would agree that 66 and 67 were awful mistakes. In fact, I hope we can repeal them. I hope we can put together a coalition that can do that in this next session. But I'm just going to read, I can't read all of what Gus wrote, but it says, and does Rep. Gilliam really think it is fair for large corporations to only pay $10 per year in corporate taxes, a ridiculously low figure that has been in place since the 30s? He talks about cutting government services while hoping to give big corporations a subsidized break. Hyperbole indeed. And this is the problem in a campaign. Surely, Gus, and I shouldn't call him Shirley, I should say Gus. Okay, now we're warming up, that's good. Gus didn't believe at that time, and I don't think he believes now, that corporations pay only $10. And yet, public employee unions, which I'm sure he's a member of one,
Actually,
paid, this isn't really a discussion at this point, Gus.
Well, you're bringing it up.
Yes, I am.
I thought you were running against him.
Are we having a discussion? Is that part of this?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, surely he didn't believe that corporations pay $10 because the corporate minimum tax is for those corporations who aren't making any money, who are in trouble, who didn't show a profit in a particular tax year. Yet we were pounded and pounded with millions of dollars of beautifully done ads by public employee unions who said, Oregon corporations only pay $10 in taxes. How ridiculous. I don't know of anybody on my side of that debate who quibbled about that $10. $10 you have to pay if you don't make any money. Started in the 30s. He correctly cited that in his letter. Maybe it should be raised to 30. Maybe it should be raised to 100. But it's corporations who weren't making any money. That's the kind of hyperbole. That's the kind of election that allowed Oregonians to be fooled. And now we're in the mess we're in because we, as a legislature, not with my vote, said the only way out of this mess is more taxes. The rich can afford it. It won't trickle down. And look where we are. You know, I believe that a friend of mine who's an official in Idaho, when he told me that the governor of Idaho has a list of 200 Oregon corporations that he is actively recruiting, and the list was made up after 66 and 67. We need to get back to a place where we're open for business, where we welcome business. And 66 and 67 were not to do it. Now, like I said, this is a campaign, and this is our moderator, our lecturer, a candidate for city council who is moderating a forum between two candidates for state representative. Welcome to the election cycle.
This is, I guess, primarily for Mr. Gilliam. It's been reported in many publications, and you've said it here tonight, that you want to completely repeal Measure 67 because you claim that it taxes businesses to the point that they are fleeing our state or afraid to come into the state. Can you please name one business from House District 18 that has fled the state using Measure 67 as the main cause?
No.
Could you stand to the podium and do that?
No.